This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Greetings. Back at the bench, working on the Quinjet. What I've done to fill in the gap where the old missile bay used to be is actually taken the missile bay doors and glued them into place at the front and run them all the way to the back. That's where the shortened bay actually ends, but I've left them in at full length to cover the gap. Still got to go in and fill the gaps underneath it and where I join the fuselage. I'll probably smooth that transition out. Up top, I've used some sheet styrene to create the cowlings for the engines. I'll go in and fill under here, likely with Aves epoxy sculpt. I still need to fill in the back panel here, as well as probably put a back deck here so I can put in a rear hatch. All in all though, it's coming along. I've still got to fill the whole cockpit. That's pretty much going to get filled with Aves. I've abandoned the idea of using the kit canopy because I think the fact it bulges up would actually take away from the sense of scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to smooth this over and then create the appearance of a new canopy. But that's where we are before I start using a whole ton of Aves. Alright, sorry for the lack of progress, or at least the lack of updating it. Things have been kind of hectic around here, and I'm hoping they'll slow down so I can actually get some build work done on both the Quinjet here and eventually back on the Enterprise. But, not to say I haven't made progress. Took some sheet styrene and covered the back cutout. I still have to trim it down, even with the original hull. Got styrene in place here between the engines. I've also filled it with Aves back here. I'm planning on sloping it so I can start working a rear boarding hatch setup. I've begun filling the undercuts on the engines. Those still need work. I've got the rough Aves in on most the rest of the seamage. I've just barely started sanding on it though. But it's coming. Filled the nose. Still have to go in and fill the seams down here. But that's where we're sitting at the moment. Things are coming slowly but surely. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some work done. And we're back. First round of sanding's actually gone fairly well. Cockpit's taking shape now. Smoothed out a lot of the roughness. Still have to do the underside work here and here, as well as in the door. Smooth this off with the Dremel. This thing's going to need a serious wipe down when I get done. But there's some areas I still need to touch up. We'll keep things going as we go though. just finishing up what should hopefully be the final layer of eaves on the Quinjet here. Gone through and loaded a bunch more in here to try to even this out some. Also filled in the gaps under the engines on both sides. Touched up the gap on the seam where I chopped the fuselage. Also added to fill in under the doors here and here, as well as to touch up the tailplane back here. At this point, the rear hatch is probably just going to be carved in. I'll probably do some here and some down here. We'll play that part by ear when we get there. Right now, though, it's time to let the eaves sit and cure for a bit. Stay tuned.